Welcome back to the ABC of spring break, how to have an amazing spring break with your child. We were talking about the formula of ABC. Letter A was for allow time. Letter B was for be fully present with our child. And letter C is for connection. As you know, I am a parenting by connection certified instructor. I trained and I got my certification with the most amazing parenting education organization in the world by the name of Hand in Hand Parenting. I invite all of you, I encourage all of you to go on their website, handinhandparenting.com. They have a wealth of resources for parents of young children, 0 to 12, parents with neurodiverse children, teenagers, a lot of evidence based tools, a lot of literature, a lot of videos. Our Facebook page is amazing. The Hand in Hand Parents Club community on Facebook is amazing, the weekly newsletter, the YouTube channel. So my training is in parenting by connection. What that means is that I dove really deep into understanding how connection really works between parent and child, because throughout my years, as I was reading all kinds of books on the topic of parenting, everybody talks about connection, that is the heart of the relationship, but nobody was able to tell me how to nurture connection in the most difficult moments in parenting, right? When the child is throwing a tantrum in the middle of the grocery store, when two siblings start hurting each other and hitting each other, when I am so exhausted as a mom that I can't even hold my body straight anymore, right? Because I am so overwhelmed, let's say. When a child is crying every night before going to bed for now 6 months, and no matter what the mom did, nothing works. So, in situations like this, it's not enough for me to know connection, connection, connection. It's important for the parent to know what to do to bring connection back into the relationship, because in this type of moments, the child's brain, the child's limbic system is so overwhelmed, there is no possibility for connection. So the parent has the power and the responsibility to reestablish connection. By the way, the parent child connection is also called a super protective factor in future developing years as the child becomes a teenager and then a young adult. So, the more we get educated about connection, the more we imprint in our child's architecture of their mind a super protective factor as they go out in the world and they interact with peers. They have to manage peer pressure. They have to stand up for themselves. They have to stand out in certain situations. They have to take a step back in other situations. All this psychological understanding of the world and self-regulation, self-understanding, when to talk, what to say, how to protect oneself, all of these things, this is in all encapsulated in the super protective factor, and that only can come from the parent child relationship. So, how do we nurture connection? How do we prioritize connection in the most difficult moments of parenting? Well, first of all, if we don't know anything about this, we start with step one, which is education. We have to be humble enough as adults to say, I don't know enough about this. I don't want to parent like maybe my parents parented me, or I don't want to parent like everyone else around me. I don't want to punish my child. I don't want to put my child in timeout. I don't want to shame my child or make them feel guilty, hoping that I am correcting behavior. No, I don't want to do any of that, but I don't know how to nurture and create connection. So I'm going to start by admitting to myself, I don't know. I have a gap in my knowledge base, so I'm going to get educated. So that's step one, is recognition, ad- admitting that I'm lacking something in my knowledge. I don't know how to do this. I feel powerless most of the time. I feel helpless. So let me go get educated. There are a million places online where you can get educated. I can recommend at least 10 amazing resources. Of course, one of them is Parenting Made Conscious. Go to my website. There are a lot of free articles on my blog. There are other videos on my YouTube channel. Pick up my book on Amazon. That's one. There is Dr. Becky Kennedy, Good Inside. She's great. Her approach to parenting is great. Go watch her on YouTube. It doesn't cost anything, right? There is the Neufeld Institute, the new Dr. Gordon Neufeld, who co-authored the absolute must-read book for all parents here, Hold On to Your Kids by Dr. Gordon Neufeld and Dr. Gabor Mate. If you go to the Neufeld's Institute, a wealth of research, very connection oriented. If you go to the on the website of the Center of the Developing Child at Harvard University, a lot of free videos there. So there is no shortage of places where you can get educated on the science of connection for free. And of course, hand in hand parenting, which is, like I said, the organization that I trained with, start with their website. Okay, so step one is I don't know what I need to do. Let me educate myself. And second, ask for help. If you read what you needed to read, you watched videos, and you still feel like you're very lost, ask for help. Find someone whom you can talk to, ask for help, a coach, a support group. F- Ask for help. Don't do this alone. There is no trophy for parents who think that they can do this alone in isolation, filled with shame, thinking that nobody's watching. No, we want to expose ourselves in safe support groups with a well trained coach or facilitator so we can get better at connection. By the way, everyone who works with me also benefits from a free weekly group coaching call that I hold every Wednesday for this exact same reason. And three, I can go on with a lot of different steps, but I'll just mention three steps. So number one was get educated. Number two was seek support, ask for help, find someone you can work with. And number three, start with self-compassion. So, if you're in a situation in which connection is really hard for you, maybe because of your family history, maybe because you have parents who did not love you the way you needed to be loved, they were not there for you emotionally, psychologically, you have a history of different levels of trauma and abuse. Maybe you work two, three jobs because you can barely, pay the bills. Whatever the situation is, if your nervous system is not able naturally, effortlessly to show up for your child, to create a safe psychological space for containment and a lot of listening and a lot of permission for all range of emotions, then start with self-compassion. It's okay. You're not the only one. A lot of us were in that place. And you start where you are. You just can't do it alone. That's my only message. But as you're starting from where you are, please, please, please start from self compassion. Okay, I am going to end the video about connection during spring break by recommending hand in hand parenting 5 connection tools that you can read about online, you can watch videos, you can look at their courses, you can also read the book. It's called Listen by Patty Whipfler. There you go, it's right here. So this is the book Listen by Patty Whipfler and Tasha Shore. Patty Whipfler is the founder of Hand in Hand Parenting. So listen, subtitle 5 Simple Tools to Meet Your Everyday Parenting Challenge. So if you read this book, you will learn about special time, stay listening, setting limits, play listening, and listening partnerships. These are the 5 tools that are in my toolkit as a parent at any given time, ever since my son was very, very young. And this is my book if you have a really young child, right? My book is called Conscious Parenting of Your Toddler: Strategies to Turn Discipline into Growth and Connection. And in a way, there is a mirroring of the 5 listening tools, but of course, they are a little bit modified for very young children. But I guarantee you, both of these books are applicable and applicable for any age. Even if you have a college student child, you can still adopt and adapt these tools. You can even use these tools in your couple relationship. Okay. So, with that said, this is the end of our series on spring break. This is the ABC of how to have a great spring break. I'm going to resume it here. Letter A stands for allow for time, playtime, unstructured time, sleeping time, rest, 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 rest. No need to do over the board trips and road trips and flying and activities and theme parks. No need for that. The child needs to rest. I promise you that. Letter B, be fully present. Put your phone away, in a nutshell, or draw a hard line between your working hours and your family hours. And letter C was for connection. And with that, I wish everyone an amazing, wonderful, connected, and restful, conscious, mindful spring break with a lot of laughter and joy and unstructured time. See you in the next one. Bye, everyone.